things to the sidebar. How about this awful thing? The sign out button right now, if you'll recall, is just in app, not even inside main. We just put it right here next to main, which means, look, none of this stuff goes all the way to the top of the page, right? Because this is pushing it all down. Plus, it's ugly. So that probably should be in the sidebar along with all this stuff. So let's get started moving it there. So sign out. JSX should move. That means we're going to have to pass sign out down through main. Easy enough. We have this actions object up here. Let's just add that to it. Sign out. This dot sign out. That is the sign out method. And if we take that component out of there, then we no longer need the div around main. It's back to being the only thing inside there. So get rid of that. Down in main then, we'll have sidebar. And sidebar right now receives reset current note. It also needs to receive sign out now, right? The sign out method that it's going to pass out to the sign out component. Sign out equals props dot sign out. So then in the sidebar, let's add another button underneath the new note button. Well, I mean, we'll just add the sign out component there. It's not this dot sign out anymore. Instead, sign out is being passed in as a prop to this stateless functional component, which means we'll break it out here. And then we can just pass it to sign out like this. So let's see where that gets us. Sign out is not defined because we need to import it here. We don't need to import it in app anymore, right? So sign out, take that import out of here, add it to the sidebar. Okay, and now the button is right on top of the plus button, but we'll deal with that in a second. Let's see if it works. Clicky, clicky, and we're out. And what about state? Look at React Dev Tools. Okay, notes. Notes got emptied out when we signed out. Current note, however, did not. Or, well, it's blank right now. Let's see if we sign in, choose one of our existing notes from the list. Now, current note in state is this note. And if I sign out, that stays there, right? So we should clear that out when we sign out as well. So back in app, when we sign out, reset state notes to empty object. We also want to reset current note. We could call reset current note, or we could just add current note. This dot blank note. Are we unsetting user ID? Yeah. I'm just not sure where we're doing that. Maybe up here in, oh yeah, we're doing it up in, on auth state changed. Yep. Cool. So now let's sign in. Pick an existing note. And then current note is something. We sign out, and it's not. It's emptied out again. Very good. Now let's do something about the fact that this is the ugliest button I've ever seen. So inside SignOut, I'm going to wrap this button in a div now, just for the sake of a style sheet that I have. And I'll give that div a class of SignOut instead of the button. And then we'll style this thing. So now I have a div with a class name of SignOut and a button inside there. And instead of the word SignOut, let's put a font awesome thing in there. So I.fa.fa dash, I think there's one called SignOut. How about I actually expand that into... Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Very, very small and still on top of that other button. So we need to do something about that in our styles. Does SignOut have its own CSS file? I don't think it does. So we'll create that. Let's go ahead and import it even though it doesn't exist yet. Import ./signout.css. And now let's create that file. SignOut.css. So as for the div dot SignOut, right? I'm going to use absolute positioning on that and make it appear one rim from the bottom of the page, which we know is 10 pixels. So now it's way down here, but holy crap, is that small. Really small. I mean, we don't want people to leave our app, but it should probably be a little easier than that. So we need to style the button. Dot sign out button, and then any icon with an FA class inside of a button that is inside the SignOut div. How about that? We'll set the font size to 2 rim. That's considerably better. If you want to make it even bigger, feel free. Does it work? Yep, still works. Now, when I clicked on that, watch closely, there's kind of a horrible outline on that. Can actually deal with that. Should be able to just style the button, sign out, button, outline none. Only happens when it's active, but if we do that and we click it, no outline. It was ugly, didn't like it. It's gone now. Cool. Move, sign out to the sidebar, and add style.